it's moving pretty fast, okay. Trust I'm going V12, 200 on the dash. To be honest, my life, yes.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning back into the channel and clicking on the video. As you can see behind me, Alex's 1 Series is on the trailer. He just took it out to Kill Care last night, shake it down. He's been having some consistency issues with just a few things that he changed because now the car is fully 85, big single turbo, whole 9 yards. Thing's kind of crazy. Obviously, he got a new tow rig too. Setup is super sick. I'm so stoked for Mans and what he's been doing with drifting. But this video is kind of pieced together from a bunch of different time periods, so I'm just going to kind of link it together at the beginning and go from there. The first part that you're going to see is one of the last times we got to drive with our homie Jake and his E46. He moved back to Vermont since he graduated from UNOH. Shout out to homie, congratulations. He's back up there now. We're still going to be doing some things with him for like wraps on drift cars and things like that. Mans is so good at what he does with that, and kind of go from there. But the first part of the video will be driving around with him. The second part, your boy may or may not have bought a Grand Prix GXP to build for LS Fest this year instead of the Monte Carlo. I know people are going to be like, you said you were buying a drift car. I am still going to try and get a drift car. I just thought throwing one together for the end of the season as opposed to building one over the winter and actually trying to go at drifting full force next year and get better at driving a manual car over the winter and things like that is a lot better of an idea. So I'm just going to have a lot of fun with building my first LS and rebuilding my first 4T65E transmission. I'm going to take you guys all the way through that. I know I have a lot of W body people that have been wanting me to do this for a while, so I'm going to take you guys through all of it, let you know what parts I'm using and what companies I'm going with, what companies are helping me out. So I'm super stoked for it. But yeah, first part of the video, we're going to take the Ghia out and take the E46 out, and then I'll show you guys the Grand Prix. Just a quick GTA 5 swap of vehicles from our other garage.
I didn't want to love you for the meantime. I didn't want to love you for the meantime. I might pop a perk, I don't do line. And I tell you what I felt away. I didn't want to shoot you like a fadeaway. I hope that you don't fade away from my love. Don't fade away. I know you got very weird following your own car, but the Monty from the outside actually looks so good. I've never really, it's one LED out on the right side, but man, I've never followed it from the outside before. It's so good looking. Cruising with both cars at once is so trippy. I'm so blessed though. Shout out Jackson again, dude. I can't thank you enough for cooperating with me and holding this car down for as long as you did. Man, it might not be anybody's dream car but mine, but I've wanted a GXP for a long time, and to be out cruising in this thing with one of my best friends driving my other car, man, like, it's a pinch yourself kind of moment. I know it's front wheel drive V8 technology, so like, again, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but man, I am so happy right now. I am on cloud 9. Thank you, James, for taking the car out with me today. Thank you for Jackson again for holding this thing down for as long as he did. I know I'm helping him out with the drift program by picking this thing up a little bit. I know he's probably going to spend the money in 2 seconds because drifting's expensive, but man, I am so thankful right now. Oh my God. Cannot wait to put the hard work into this thing and build it for LS Fest and just show everybody how thankful I really am for this thing, because man, I'm gonna get to practice and do a lot of stuff on this car that I haven't ever been able to do on anybody else's car before, and I'm gonna be able to get that experience finally. So man, I'm just super stoked. We're gonna get the cars back to the shop and go from there. It's so trippy. It's so weird. The cup holders in GM cars suck, I swear to God. They do not pass the cup holder test.
Dude, I hit the train tracks, coffee everywhere.
It'd be like that. That thing sounds so much better than this from the outside, though. It's so much louder. Just a couple of W-body LS cars ripping, dude. I freaking love it. One of my favorite days of driving ever right now. It is so cool to have both cars out at the same time. Shout out James again, dude. Man. And Jackson. So happy. On cloud 9.
Alrighty, guys. Decided to take this back home. Come chill with the boys. See what we got going on at the shop. Alex is trying to unload the 1 Series at some point today. I know that. Do some work on it. But, man, driving this thing and then the Grand Prix back-to-back is very interesting because the Grand Prix, I know they reworked ride height, they reworked struts, they reworked a couple of different things when they went to go launch that car to make it more of a performance-based car than this one. And you can definitely actually feel it. The steering is a lot tighter on that car. The suspension is a lot stiffer. It actually feels super, super nice to drive, even though it's a 4-door cruiser as opposed to a 2-door, a little bit more of a sporty look to a car like this one. Engine setup and everything like that is relatively the same on both cars. However, from talking to people, I have realized that I do need to order a different cam gear, either with the kit or just separately from the kit, depending on how I decide to go about this after I get all the trans stuff in. Basically from 2006, which this car is, and 2007, which the Pontiac is, they decided to go from a 1-bolt to a 3-bolt camshaft, or vice versa. I forget which one has which, but if I ordered the cam kit originally like I was going to for this car, it would come with the wrong cam gear for the Grand Prix setup. So I'm going to have to order some different parts and things like that for the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix's wiring harness is a little bit more complicated because of the paddle shifters and just different things on the car that are wired a little bit differently. There's extra stuff to it. So I'm going to make sure at school and things like that, while I still have access to Pro Demand and all data, I'm going to be able to get all the wiring diagrams and just different little guides and pictures that'll help me along the way, because like I said, I'm trying to pull the engine on that car very quickly and slap it back together once I get all the parts in. So I am super, super stoked. I know some of you are probably picking apart my engine by looking at it. Yeah, this is, I don't even want to talk about it. Really the only accident that I've ever been in my entire life. Unfortunately, the gentleman's car that I did get in the accident with did get totaled, but this car, I just swapped out the Monte Carlo spring into a good Grand Prix strut, and that is what is keeping the suspension going on this side. Everything is good. Cosmetically, it does not look like I got hit at all. It just looks like my fender is mounted very weirdly, and I have weird bumper fitment. Howie did a great job, and Austin, shout out to both of you, reworking a little bit of the body and making it look a little bit more presentable to keep driving around. I'm still missing fog light bracket down here. That's why that fog light is missing, and I am missing the trim piece up here. It is one of the hardest pieces to get, and people literally will not sell them to you. I see them go up in the LS4 group chats all the time. It is super funny. But yeah, basically my thought is with this car, I mean, I would love to have my dad come to LS Fest with me this year, but this car would definitely want a trans cooler and a new overdrive shaft and a few other things. I don't know if we're going to be able to have the time or the money to do it, but bringing 2 cars to LS Fest, even if it is the Camaro from Massachusetts, would be super cool too. That would be much harder to do. But either way, I will have a build at LS Fest this year, and I cannot wait to take you guys through a lot more LS4 stuff and things like that, because I know there's only a few people out there that make really good content for it. LS4 King, my buddy Tyler, that's trying to work on that manual swap kit for the 3800 with the clutch pedal assembly and the kit that he's trying to put together for the community and all that. Shout out to all of those guys for making aftermarket parts for these cars, because clearly, like, for guys like me that don't have the capability, I mean, we kind of do in the shop, but like I can't create all this stuff from scratch. I'm not a fabricator by any means. My roommates are, but even still, that's a lot to ask of people to create custom stuff for a car. So the fact that there is aftermarket support for this car and this engine platform is so huge, because I cannot wait to build one of these cars. And now I have 2 to take options from, so like in parts, and things will be interchangeable depending on what they are. I know I'm going to try and get this intake on the Grand Prix and use that for the intake setup. I've been loving my cold air induction setup. If you guys have an LS4 or even a 3800 or something like that, these guys make great intakes. This thing keeps my computers cool because everything is mounted in here, so I am super happy with my setup. But yeah, I'll probably check back in with you guys when we go to unload the 1 Series. Can't tell if it's a 1 Series or a Cummins, I swear to God.
To be honest, my life, yeah, is moving pretty fast, okay. Trust I'm going V12 200 on the dash.